you got to have one side dish that has to be on the table, what would be your choice?
Mac and cheese. That's an easy one.
Matt Judon, not a mac and cheese guy. Are you aware of this?
I am aware of it.
We are now aware of it after today.
Yeah, that's his opinion. You know, I like the mac and cheese. So.
Is this going to break up the locker room?
I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. I think it'll be all right.
Seems like the last few weeks, at least maybe to the eye of someone in the media, that you're playing quite fast. Maybe, are you seeing that yourself, or are you feeling that yourself with your own play?
I definitely feel more comfortable and more confident in the decisions I make on the field. And I think over time, as I continue to try to focus in and make sure I'm doing things the right way, I think that'll continue to increase. So I definitely am feeling a little bit.
What do you think has contributed to that, getting to that feeling of,
just continuing to lock in and listen to everything that the coaches are telling me. There's always things to get better at it, and being able to receive that and make sure I'm focusing and making it as important as everything else, has been, I think, the biggest thing for me. So.
Kyle, we had a few of your teammates say to us that they can't believe that you were at one point in time a Division II athlete. Have you had to explain now on multiple occasions how it was you came to be at Lenore Ryan, that whole backstory, or do you just kind of brush it off now at this point?
I mean, they don't really care. I just, I don't think they really mind too much. I've had to explain it a couple times, but they know I don't really want to talk, want to go into great detail, so they don't really ask me too much, just whatever, they can't believe it, but that's really it. So.
Kyle, in man coverage, where do you feel like your biggest growth in that area has been?
Just the patience. I feel like, not being too aggressive and know how to use the tools that I have, physicality, at the line of scrimmage. So really just patience and kind of seeing things, using my leverage, things like that, trusting my help, and things like that has been big for me.
Rodney Harrison made a comment about wanting to work with you in the off season, work with you on some coverage things. Have you crossed paths with him, talked to him? Is that something you'd be open to?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I've talked, and I've been blessed enough to be able to be in contact with him and get advice from him, and that's definitely something I'm going to continue to try to do moving forward.
What's some of that advice? What are some of the things he?
Just play by play. Usually it goes, but trusting what I'm seeing has been one of the biggest things. Whatever the first instincts that I see, just trusting those, will help me allow me to play faster and continue to just see things out and see the big picture and kind of that kind of stuff more so.
Does that lead to, we saw a couple plays in the last game, big hit, big tackle in the open field. Is trusting those instincts allow you to make those plays?
For sure, just knowing my job in the defensive call that play, and then knowing that I have help behind me and I can do certain things, like come out of coverage faster and attack the flat. So yeah, just trusting those instincts.
Have you watched a lot of Rodney? Have you come across that tape in here and watched some of it?
Yeah, I definitely have. They've thrown it at me plenty, and I've been super anxious to watch it. So I've seen a little bit.
He reveled in the idea of being an intimidator. I know the rules have changed since he was last in the league. It's a little bit harder to play defense. It's a little bit harder to sort of take those big shots at people. But do you sort of relish that role and that idea?
For sure. I definitely. I don't want to say being an intimidator is the goal, but just playing physical and having aggression as much as possible is definitely something I, have a lot of belief in.
Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that relatively new to you, Kyle? From what I remember, when you were in college, you were playing a lot of free safety, right? Mm-hmm. And now, you've been in the box quite a bit. So is this a new part of your game, like even to you, that you're playing like a linebacker at times?
I don't think it is, as far as just playing physical. Even when I was playing free in college, it was quarters, so I wasn't that passive. But I think it's something that's always been there, and just the role that they have me in has allowed me to maybe showcase that a little more.
Have you been, we heard Dante here the other day talking about how you've been pretty good at using the flipper, almost like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Have you been taking any cues or any tips from those guys in terms of how to take on blocks when you're taking on some of those linemen?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like Coach Mayo, I mean, I never stopped hearing, what to do in the box whenever we're watching film and going through things. But I'm never stopped being coached up on that kind of stuff, especially because it's so important to helping out the rest of the defense that I, take on the guard the right way and kind of take the pressure off the defensive line. So they definitely coach me up on that all the time.
What's that like for somebody who's, probably 100 pounds lighter than some of those guys that you're taking on? I mean, I think most of us in this room, that wouldn't be a fun thing to do, but how is that for you?
It's not bad. I mean, it's necessary. I put it like that. Like, I don't really think about it like, I'm at a disadvantage. I think about it more like, if I don't do this the right way, if I don't take the offensive lineman off our down defensive lineman, then I'm making his job harder. So I don't really think about, the consequences. And I just kind of make sure I'm just trying to do my job for the rest of the guys so that, I'm not a liability or making our defense have trouble in that area. Yeah.
Do you feel like some of the zone coverages that you guys have called more in recent weeks have allowed you to just kind of see the ball and fly to it a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. I think, when we're in zone, that's one of the biggest priorities we get coached on is seeing the quarterback, seeing the throw. So I definitely think that, has a lot to do with it.
Christian Barmore was just telling us he gets to chat with Bill about every day. Do you have chats with Bill every day?
Most days. I mean, I wouldn't say every day. He definitely talks to me a lot and corrects me and makes sure I'm doing things right, coaches me up a lot. So, but I wouldn't say every day. A lot though.
Is it 100% football?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about stuff off the field from time to time, but yeah, mostly football.
Anything you can share?
I don't know, so I'm just gonna say no. I'll just keep it to myself.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cal. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.